What people say my name for? Yeah. Oh. Yeah, there's some down here. Wait, is there? Here we are. If I was with you.
You can do this, I believe in you. You can do it. Just click that.
Yeah, just click the button. Yeah. Hold on, just check. Yeah.
You hit the arrows.
Okay, so make sure you are, guys, make sure you're quiet and respectful, even if you are not interested in that piece for whatever reason. You still have to be quiet and respectful, because ultimately some of you don't get a choice, and some of you might end up in them pieces, so you might want to know about it. Okay, Jeff, over to you.
So, my piece is Death of the Salesman by Arthur Miller. It was written in 1949, and it was hailed as the first great play to question the American dream and portrays how it remains as a failure. The main character, Willie Loman, struggles to cope with changing himself in society. He feels unsuccessful, and his family try to help him become happy with his life and try to make him feel like he's doing a good job. But he also wants his two sons, Biff and Happy, to strive for greatness in a world where everything seems to be going downhill, while Linda, Willie's wife, is a lot easier on the boys. The characters are Willie, a salesman striving for success; Biff, Willie's oldest son. He's seen as a thief, but he's just always in the wrong place at the wrong time. Happy, Willie's youngest son. He's more optimistic and confident than Biff. Linda, Willie's wife. She's sweet and caring, especially towards Willie. Howard is Willie's boss, who's much younger than him, but likes things to go his way. And then there'll be a waitress that's multi-role by Linda for one scene, and Ben, who'll be a ghost character, which will be a second year. It's now seen as a classic along with plays such as The Crucible. My interpretation will be Brechtian style, which means there'll be minimal set, minimal cast and multi-rolling, multifunctional set and props, and possibly placards. The style of acting is naturalistic and expressionism. If you can do a late 40s American accent, then that would be good, but it'll either be all American accents or none. My expectations: try your hardest, turn up on time, ask questions if you need help, learn all your lines, don't stress if there's a problem, and listen to the director. Please don't argue. Any questions?
What's a late 40s American accent?
Any American accent would be good, because I don't actually. I just want it to look good.
You want just standard American then?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you do your standard American, you'll get tons of tutorials how to do it.
Cool. Any other questions? Good. Excellent. Can you just spin this round for me?
So when you said say no. Yeah, but you can still read it. Oh
Right, hold on, I'm just going to get the order up. Sure. So, we've got Josh now. So we've got Josh, Melissa, Dylan, Max, Katie, Nicole, Carrera, Natalie, Kirsty, Kira, Jade and Lily, Abby, Paddy.
Where's Keith?
Go on, big bro.
Josh, where's yours at the end?
Cat, what am I last? Cat, is it best till last?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Like Josh.
Josh.
My guy Josh. Oh, is it called The Audition?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other day, no one knows it was.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll pull him out in So you just have to press the next arrow, yeah?
Oh my god. I think.
Okay, The Audition by Don Zolidis. What is this piece about? Well, the plot basically follows a high school play director who has set up auditions for students who wish to be in a musical. The students of which have quirky personalities. He's not really a main character, but Mr. Torrance, the director of the show, he reluctantly makes it through the audition process with the help of his trusty stage manager. And as you can see, it says comedy is the genre is a comedy/drama. Yeah, the whole purpose of the plot really is just to poke fun at the stress and madness of real life auditions. It's basically a parody of auditions in real life. Yeah. Okay. If you don't know what it's about yet, just read that. Sure it'll help. I'm old, yeah. Okay then. Yeah, I just cut to the chase in it. I just want this piece to be fun, really. I just want like a light-hearted, fun piece that's fun and funny. Because if it's fun and funny, for the actors that are in my piece, then obviously, if the actors are enjoying it, then the audience is going to enjoy it when you actually perform it. But if the actors don't like it, then obviously it's going to end up like the audience don't even like it either, because it's just going to be dull and boring. So yeah, I want to create a family-friendly piece, giving my actors freedom with what they want to do with characterization. The characters in my script are kind of like flexible, so like there's a lot of room to experiment with the character. So in my group, you'll be able to do what you want with the character, basically. Over the top characterization. Yeah, I'll encourage you to do that if it works. We'll see, we'll play around with it. Tech and staging will be kept simple. That's because I'm lazy, really. And I don't want it to be overcomplicated. Runtime is 20 minutes long. Didn't want it to be too long either. Male actors can play female characters, and vice versa if needed. Yeah, that's just because like characters can be played by anyone basically. 2 actors will have to multi-role. Yeah. Oh yeah, I want 6 actors by the way. Preferably 3 male and 3 female. Can't speak, can it? Right, characters. Mr. Torrance. The director of the show, he's overworked and can't be bothered, but he said he'll direct it anyway. Oh yeah, these are just archetypes by the way. You don't have to go by this when we're actually rehearsing. This is just if you're struggling with characterization, you can just follow this. Carl McDude, stage manager, acts as a right-hand man to Mr. Torrance. Tommy, he's just an average Joe. He just wants to be in the play. That's pretty much it. Sarah, she's only auditioning to be in a love scene with Tommy because she likes him. Elizabeth, talented girl, she likes performing, but she doesn't really want to audition, she just pressured into it by her mother. Elizabeth's mother pushes Elizabeth hard as she wants Elizabeth to be the best that she can be. Alison, she's like a young Broadway star in the making. Always got a lead role in everything she did in her past. Kind of a shock to her system when she doesn't get the main role. This time, she kind of gets upset about it. She's used to getting the main role in everything, basically. Alison's father gets angry when Alison doesn't get the part that she wants. Has a few words with Mr. Torrance with his fists. Gonna have a word with him. Yep, some of these character genders will be changed if necessary. So if like a female actor doesn't want to play a male character, then that's fine. We can work around that. Yep. Now I can't read. Wait. One sec. Whoever plays Tommy will have to multi-role as Elizabeth's mother or father. That can change, obviously. The gender of Elizabeth's mother can change. It can be Elizabeth's father. It depends what I want, really. Whoever plays Alison will also have to multi-role as Alison's father. Yeah, set is very minimal. Desk and 2 chairs. Like I said, want to keep it simple. props to be decided. A few characters will have some custom props for themselves. Just ignore that because I don't know what that is. I think I was typing something, but I don't think I finished. Whatever. And yeah, like I said, 3 characters being male, 3 female. That is preferable, but can be altered. Is this piece for you? Well, if you're looking for a fun, light-hearted piece to be in, and wanting to have freedom of characterization, then yes, this piece is for you. If you're looking for a more serious piece, then no, this piece is not for you. And if you would prefer a director that will control your characterization, then this piece is not for you. Thank you for listening.
No.
Jess, how many characters do you, how many actors do you need?
Only 5.
And what was the ratio, male to female?
4 boys, 1 girl.
Is that set?
Yeah.
Set. So like,
Where's your pitch?
I'll talk about
Good. Yeah.
Oh, was that it? I thought
Yeah.
that was just a script.
So my PC is
Hang on.
pool, not water.
Wow.
Pool, not pool.
So yeah, the piece I picked is called Pool No Water. Don't worry, we're not gonna have a pool, so I'm not gonna make you swim. By Mark Ravenhill. Right. Pool No Water is a very strong and controversial contemporary dramatic play. Its content fascinates and intrigues anyone who allows themselves to step into the characters' minds and feel their emotions. It basically portrays the fragile line between friendship and jealousy, followed by resentment, inspired by one's success and wealth. Whereas true friendship is defined to be reciprocal and unconditional support and affection, Mark Ravenhill comes with a psychological and delicate perspective where friendships are often delusional and become driven by unconscious envy and bitterness. The original play illustrates a group of artists, 4 to be specific, that are also good friends, and they used to work together. They used to create art and organize exhibitions together. Time changed their perspectives and expectations of life, and ultimately they decided to go on different paths. Sally is the only character who's ascribed a name, and also she's the only female that, and she also is the only one who met success. A night reunion at Sally's luxurious house brings the 4 artists back together, and they get reminiscent, and everything seems to go just well over dinner. However, the atmosphere takes an abrupt turn when the alcohol and the misuse of drugs take over their minds. A sexual interactions is happening between Sally and one of the characters, and when Sally tries to stop it, the other character gets frustrated and angry, and he ends up by murdering her.
Damn.
Yeah, that's why I said abrupt turn. The continuation of the play gets more distressing and even more intense as the other 3 characters who witness her murder go through an amalgamation of different states of mind. Like they go from ecstasy to despair, from laughter to crying, from regret to satisfaction, and from being friends to actually admitting that they hate each other. Sally's ghosts haunt their consciousness, but they find a way to overcome the feeling of remorse, and they actually strangely, in a very strange way, find inspiration in the imagery of her bruised corpse. So basically they start painting her corpse because they are being fascinated of the colors of the bruises on her body. Later on, they turn her torment into art as a sign of respect. What you can expect of me. unconditional support throughout the performance preparation, willingness to embrace your own ideas about the play, patience, I'd say that's a key word, in a friendly and enjoyable atmosphere to work in, commitment obviously, and I promise you to share my best knowledge with you and help you throughout the whole process. What I expect of you: show respect not only for me but for all the people you work with. Show commitment and willingness to listen, learn and contribute to constructing a good, preferably excellent performance. Show adaptability and flexibility to work. Learn your lines on time and pay attention to what is being said during the rehearsals. Try to make as much as you can, to take as much as you can from it, from this opportunity, and enjoy it. Demonstrate your skills at your best ability and be supportive to each other. Be open and don't be afraid to talk to me whenever something upsets you, if it's related to the performance. Have fun. A little bit about the characters. I'm going to be having 3 males and 2 females, preferably with the same hair color, because one is gonna play Sally at the beginning, and then the other one's gonna play the ghost. As I said before, the characters are not ascribed with a name, so it's just A, B, and C. A is the murderer. He's impulsive, irritated, and unscrupulous. He doesn't really regret what he's done. He's rather, satisfied that she's dead because he's always been jealous of her wealth and success. B, he's detached from the tragedy that just happened, but he's deep and passionate about art, so he loves creating art. C is panicked. He's very distressed about the situation, and he's the only one who actually realizes the gravity of the incident. He's predominantly angry but sensitive in a report with Sally, because he was actually the only one who loved Sally, truly. Sally, at the beginning she has no lines because she'll just have to mime the moment when they meet up after a long time. She's energetic, friendly, foxy and playful, whereas Sally's ghost is disturbed and sad but resigned with her fate. She's accepted the fact that she's dead, but obviously she's still sad about it. And she's the only one who's allowed to interact directly to the audience, whereas the other characters are not allowed to interact with the audience. When Sally speaks, she'll have 2 or 3 monologues, but they're not long. When she speaks, they just freeze, because I want to kind of distinguish to let the audience know when Sally speaks. They can't, never mind. That's it. Any questions? No?
Quiet.
I managed to talk.
I like Big Man. Let's go. He's never referred to me as Big Man ever.
Alright, let's
go. It's in the maximum bit at the bottom. Oh. Yeah. I didn't see everything else because I am
one job.
Blind. Thank you. I was going to say that works too. Please actually work. Please actually work. Come on. Please actually work.
No, don't. It's all
good. Technology. Right, so as you guys have probably heard, I've been speaking about this piece quite a lot, and that is because it is my baby. It is our baby. I've worked on this since the summer of last year, and I've chosen it because, one, I spoke to Kat when you were going through your auditions to get into college, and I said, what kind of people do we have here? And, well, this piece sort of brought up into my mind, and I thought it could match with quite a lot of you. It is a classical play, but don't let that dissuade you. I have modernised it in the style of Sarah Kane, who is a in-your-face theatre director. She wants to shock the audience, make the audience feel things, and that's what I've done by rewriting this classical play. Do you want to give your disclosure, Dylan?
Yes, I will give my disclosure. Disclosure! Faust contains a lot of adult themes, as it says here, including sex, rape, and abortion. So, seriously, please, if you are sensitive to anything like this or not comfortable, you do not have to be in this piece. Please explicitly tell either Kat or us two.
And if you really want to do sort of a dark piece that's like this, we can just change it. Doesn't matter. Not everything has to be disgusting and gross and scary, but maybe just a little bit.
So, yeah, what exactly is Faust? Because I know Max hasn't fully explained what it actually is yet. So it's based on originally a Greek folktale with
German folktale.
German. I'm getting my words mixed up with Metamorphosis.
It's fine.
But we've also gotten a bit of the Czech version in from this
No,
one.
I'm Czech. It's the only story I know, so I've put that into it.
It's based on the actual life of
Johann Georg Faust.
Thank you. Of course, it's a Gothic story, and to summarize it very briefly, essentially a man makes a deal with a devil, and it ends up sending him down a path of self-destruction. Basically, overwhelming power, destroying someone.
Yeah.
And at the end, he gets dragged to hell.
Yeah. What our goal with it was that when the play was written in the late 1700s, it was about Christianity and what would happen if you took the devil's messages, and obviously that would scare people. In the back in the day, Christianity was mainly to scare people, to control people. But nowadays, you don't really get that anymore. What we want to do with this play is to make you feel the fear that would have been put into you if you were reading it back in those times. You would feel the fear of God, essentially.
Right. So there's only 3 characters, so we're just going to go through each of them. First one is Faust himself. He's essentially an experienced elderly scholar, but he's never made any money off of his work and published it. He just writes these scrolls and leaves them in his room. He's a complete recluse, and he's never loved or been loved. A word to sum him up very briefly is immature. He has no experience with people at all.
And even though he is quite old, I'd put him in about the 60s mark, he's extremely childish. And he makes deals with Mephistopheles for unlimited power and worldly pleasures, as you'll see with the next character, or not next, character after the next one.
And then Mephistopheles, he is essentially an agent of hell, but he is not the villain in this story.
He's more of an enabler to Faust. He's the person that provides his power.
I think that it's like a genie in the bottle. You're not going to blame a genie for, accidentally messing everything up.
It's kind of like Aladdin, but evil.
Essentially, yes. To sum it up, if you think Jafar, he wishes to be a genie, he ends up getting imprisoned in the lamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Oh yeah, sorry for spoilers. For
20 years ago.
Oh no,
30 years. Next.
Helen.
Right. This is the last character. She comes in a little bit after the other 2, but not super late.
Yeah.
Faust essentially falls in love with her on sight, and is almost obsessed with her. But it's love as he understands it.
It's not true love. It's lust, and because he hasn't felt any of these emotions before, he's a complete recluse. He doesn't understand how to deal with them, and deals with them in the complete worst way possible. And that is by using Mephistopheles' power to take advantage of Helen. Now, Helen doesn't have a lot of lines, but that shouldn't really matter. She's very much a powerful character in her own right, even though she gets taken advantage of. She needs to be able to command the stage, and the actress for it needs to be able to have that power on stage. Oh, and also, she gives birth to the Antichrist in the end. Spoilers.
Stop spoiling everything.
We will spoil what we wish. So what exactly makes our piece special, kind of sets it apart? Again, it's a classical piece that we have somewhat rewritten because spoilers, none of you are German or Czech. So,
Oh my god.
I know,
Okay.
Horace. It's probably a newish
Two new
newish
genres
genre.
to you, actually. You haven't done Sarah Kane, you haven't done classical. And classical's never been done at college before, I don't believe so, Kat. No? It is a little modernised, but there is still some language in it. And throughout the entirety of rehearsals, I'm going to be giving you workshops and stuff. We've split it so that I'm doing the theory and Dylan's doing the practical, so he'll be directing you on stage. I'll be telling you about your characters. And the reason why we want to do this is because throughout all of the other directing performances, it seems like stories are leading characters rather than characters leading stories, which is a big problem when people write things and put on shows. So we want to get the characters nailed before we get onto the story.
Right. Keep moving a bit more. And when we say not fully modernised, for example, we're not going to make you wear this.
Yes!
Oh my god.
This is what they wore in the film version of
What
this.
was that in, what was it, 19...
20-something,
Yeah.
long enough ago for everyone that was in it to now be dead.
Yes.
And that costume is probably disintegrated. Let us never speak of it ever again. Right.
Free cast!
Okay, so what you can expect from us, as Max mentioned, a one-on-one sort of rehearsal, because there's only 3 people in the cast and there's 2 directors. We've got a pretty clear vision of what we want to do. There's new techniques to do, which
Exactly.
we will try and keep short.
Yes.
Please.
I'm sorry. An honest but constructive criticism. We're both very, very honest people. If it's shit, we're going to tell you it's shit. If it's good, we're going to tell you it's good.
But we're going to tell you why it's shit.
Exactly, which is the point.
I mean, why it might not be as good as possible.
Yes, we didn't swear.
Dylan's going to be the positive influence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we actually expect from you guys, the focus, like, just simply don't mess about and all that. Be willing to bring your own ideas, maybe. If we're not going to completely dictate your character.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't like some sort of totalitarian thing. If you've got an idea for a certain line of delivery or something, just go with it.
Yeah.
See what happens. Maturity. Again, I'm not saying don't laugh always, but if you're constantly making the fun out of the fact that a woman is giving birth in a bathtub to the Antichrist, it's gonna get annoying pretty quickly.
It should be treated with seriousness because it is very difficult to talk about these topics and execute them correctly on stage.
And again, we don't expect you to enjoy this. Shocker, this isn't going to be everyone's cup of tea.
No.
I know. Again, crazy spoilers.
But if you want to try something completely new and actually try different styles, then,
Throw yourself in the deep end, all that.
Yeah.
And I believe that
is
it. Hey!
Go.
Just so I can write down the notes, what tech or set do you have in mind?
So we'll have a bathtub, we'll have a blackboard that
Shiny
can be
sublime.
moved to reveal blue lights,
Red
lights.
wash.
Yeah, blue wash, red wash, and and we need to take the white thing out of this. The white thing out of it? So
What do you mean?
The curtains.
we had an idea that when Mephistopheles starts to play, he comes in through the back here.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Not gonna happen? Fine.
Right,
Don't
never
worry.
mind.
Don't worry about it.
You shall improvise. Yeah, everything else will supply itself.
Well, I can still put them in front of it just to make it like an entrance.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Alright.
Any other questions? Oh god.
I'll have one more.
How many male, how many female?
2 male, 1 female.
But Mephistopheles can be played by a female. We don't judge, but yeah.
Also, one more question. How have you modernised this?
We've done it through changing what the piece means and how it's presented on stage. So rather than changing how they say things, we change their intention.
Okay.
It's still not modern dialogue.
Oh no,
But it's not quite Shakespearean to the point where it's incomprehensible.
Yeah, there aren't any crazy long words. It's just bit posh.
Alright, that's cool.
Do you remember the
How long is the whole piece?
Well, I timed it for benchmarking, and that got us up to the 10 minutes. And then I went through the entire play, and that got us to about 25 minutes.
25, half an hour roughly.
Yeah.
Okay.
because that's when they start grading you. So.
No, it's for art.
Anything else? No? Awesome. Cool. Right, let's go.
You've got this, Katie. You've got this.
Stress.
You're fine. We believe in you. We'll sit here and support you.
It's undermining. It's like right at the bottom.
Start a conversation, maybe. Start a conversation. Like, listen.
Everyone knows it's everyone knows it's easier.
Does it not hurt? No, it was.
Excuse me, I don't know. Is it bad? Not really. Okay. You've got this. Let's go. Now fine.
Got it, Casey. Got it. Got it.
We all know. Okay.
Otherwise, we're going to
Right. I think most of you have heard of this. Let's be honest. Most of you have heard of it. So for my direction piece, I'm doing teachers. So the play was written in 1984, but was published in 1985, and it was performed by a company called the Hawk Truck Theatre Company in 1987 at Edinburgh Festival. They did a revival in 2010, and yeah. So Teachers is about 3 students called Salty, Hobby and Gail, and they've just finished their final year at school. Woo. The 3 teachers use the play within a play format where they multi-role as their teachers and tell their story of the new drama teacher that was only there for a few weeks but then left just before they left. At the start, the 3 of them are not very fond of being put on a stage and doing a play, but then as the show goes on you can see them kind of develop that enjoyment gradually, and then at the end they're thanking Mr. Nixon for getting them into drama. So characters, there's Ian Salty Salt. He's going to be played by a male actor. He's obviously the normal age for school leavers, which is around the age of 16. He's very loud, he doesn't shut up. He doesn't know what he's going to do with his life at school. And I want the person to play Salty to be full of energy, and they need to be able to go from really calm to really energetic within seconds. Salty does have a lot of lines, especially as he plays the roles of Mr. Nixon, which is the main drama teacher, which is what it's about. There's Gail Saunders. Gail will be played by a female actor, same age as Salty, obviously, as they're in the same year, which is 16. She's the flirt of the trio, so she's always like flirting about with like everyone. I want them to be serious person, but then they can be playful at times. But she bounces off Salty and Hobby mainly. And yeah, she also has a lot of lines, but not as many as Salty. Salty has the most lines, I think, I'm pretty sure of it. Lillian Hobson Hobby. Originally it's played by a girl, but I've changed it to a boy for comedic reasons. That's because most of the characters she plays are female, so I feel like it'd be funnier if it was a boy impersonating a female. She's fed up with her friends. She doesn't know what to do with them. Again, 16. I want them to play like similar to Gail, but not completely. This is because she can be serious, but most of the time she is out there. I would say she is a combination between both Salty and Gail. She also has a lot of lines. The reason they all have so many lines, obviously, is because obviously it's the 3 of them doing the entire show for playing all the roles within the show. What I expect from you is to be on time, learn your lines, please, attend rehearsals, respect me and respect everyone else in the group. I want to see dedication, because if you're not dedicated to the piece, you're not going to put 100% effort into it and you're not going to enjoy it as much as you would. Like I said, do everything with 100% effort. Please leave your problems at the door. We all have things going on, we all have like stuff at home, but in rehearsal, let's just all forget about that and just do what we're there to do. cooperate with me and others in the group. What you should expect from me: if you have ideas, throw them at me. Like, I'm here to listen to your ideas, to contribute, to expand on them. I'll help you with anything. So if you're struggling to learn lines, I can sit with you and we'll go through scenes together. Logbooks, I'll sit with you and do logbooks if you need it. I'm going to have all your resources, so homework, I have your scripts, so that's all sorted. I'm going to be organised for once in my life. And yeah, I'll make sure of it. And as cringe as it is, teamwork makes the dream work. Wow. So, is there any questions?
I'm going to ask the same question. What tech and set do you have in mind?
Oh goodness. 2 tables, a spinny chair, and then 2 normal chairs, and then like a clothing rail.
Okay.
Sorted.
I didn't swear.
Oh, right, background.
Wow.
That's a good message. Incredible start.
Great.
Oh my god.
Okay, so essentially I'm doing The Suicide by Suhaila al-Bushra. So, about the play. It was actually originally written in the late 1920s by Nikolai Erdmann. However, it was soon banned for being anti-communist by Stalin. Suhaila al-Bushra recently reimagined it in June 2016. It was performed at the National Theatre. The original running time with interval is 2 hours and 30 minutes. Obviously, I've cut that down to approximately 20 minutes. The genre is dark comedy. Obviously, if you're not into suicide, if that's a touchy topic for you, then this may not be for you. Themes within this are satire, pith, parody of death, and venom. Okay, so the plot. Life has become very difficult for Sam. The struggles of being unemployed, having no benefits, and family troubles are taking their toll. He dreams of owning a car and being able to work, but after one incident in his life where he tried to do the right thing, life starts falling apart and there only seems to be one way out. However, even the only way out becomes a massive fail, and Sam now has to cope with his demise becoming a USP, an unsupportive family, and dealing with bullies who have taken advantage of his failure. Stuck in London with now no way out, his life becomes a complete joke filled with drama. A spark can ignite a fire, and when Sam's attempted suicide becomes a sensation, his life becomes seemingly better. 2 anti-capitalist filmmakers who turn Sam's attempted suicide into a documentary give Sam every reason to live. Or do they? The deal is that Sam dies at the end of the documentary, but once again he fails. This time, however, he comes back with a different outlook on life. He realises how selfish he was and that his actions have an effect on other people. In essence, Sam is the main character, the whole story follows him. He fails essentially at life with family, tries to do everything right, fails, tries to commit suicide, has an opportunity, gets told to kill himself, fails it once again, and decides he wants to live a better life. Once again, just a little bit more information. The play was modernised to fit today's modern era, so everything will be modernised in it. Okay, just a bit about the characters. Sam, the protagonist, he is male, will be played by a male character. He is an immigrant, late 20s, early 30s. He's very arrogant, full of pride, up himself. He's Maya's husband, and he does have a lot of lines. Maya is a female, will be played by a female. Late 20s, early 30s, once again, Sam's wife and Sarah's daughter. She is inconsiderate and zealous. She cares a lot about herself, but has something in her to care about other people as well. Also has a lot of lines. Sarah is the mother of Maya. She will be played by a female, although if a male wants to play it, then that's also fine. We can change it to a father. Played very drunk and dramatic, very comedic, all over the place. Not as many lines, but still a very main character. Haji is a male, early 30s, doesn't have any close relationships, he's just like a friend to everyone. A very compassionate character and has the least amount of lines. Okay, what can you expect from me? First of all, I'm a negotiator and creative artist, so if you work with me, I'm not going to command you to do something. If you want to play a character a certain way, we will talk about it, we will work it out, the whole setting and everything. If you don't like something, we will work around it. I already have a Padlet page for your use, which will have everything included in it. If you need any help with anything, it will be on there, and it will help you with, obviously, all your work that you need to do. Obviously, I will provide help with anything and everything that you need, and I will work with you, not against you. So, what do I expect from you? Learn your lines, turn up to lessons, complete your homework, be prepared, and have respect for everyone you're working with. Any questions?
Same again, second set.
Yeah, essentially split stage. One side is the bedroom, so I do need a bed. The other side is just like a kitchen set, so a table and a few chairs. Tech is very basic, just flashing lights from one side to the other, just like a general wash.
Okay, that's fine.
And thank you for listening.
Listen, what I'm gonna. I'm not listening.
Who's there?
I'm just checking. Carrera, yeah.
You know, you two. Whoa, you're well you are.
She's just having a hold of take
No, you know this minute. Do you remember, or do you know how I can get like my brain to you?
You could say about him. I'm so mad. You slide about him to say. You could just. And then, yeah, then you could
Talk without it with a comedy.
Also, you're going to distract my phone. No, I said we're not going, we just did.
Okay.
So my piece I'm doing is called Knickers, and it's by Robert Scott, and it's a comedy piece. This is a lot of writing, but I'm going to sum it up real quick here. So the piece is based on this old guy called, well, he can be man or female, I'm not bothered about genders. So he's deaf and blind, he or she, and it makes him an easy target. So there's 4 thieves, and they're pretty thick, I'm not going to lie to you, they're really thick. And they all think they have come up with this genius plan to rob the diamond that the old guy has. And they decide that, oh, you know, we're going to do this. And when they all come together, they realise, I'm not the only one that's thought this through and I'm going to do it. So a distraction's made towards the end and someone does leave with the diamond, but plot twist, I'm not telling you. So, I won't tell you. So for this piece, I need actors who have a sense of humour. It has to be comedic, and I need a little bit of sarcasm as well. So for this piece, I want to try loads of different things, so I have a bit in mind. But I want my cast to feel like they can contribute ideas, because obviously you're going to make the end piece, so I'm going to need you to help me out a little bit. So I need you to all feel confident and comfortable around each other, and I'm going to touch on this later, but if you fight, I'm telling you now. I'm telling you now. So this is the first character, his name's Nibble. Gender, I'm not bothered about. So this character needs to have a sarcastic sense of humour, and this one is thought to be the sensible one because it's the oldest of all of them. So this one's considering giving up and having a quiet life, but this one has a huge ego and needs to be taken down and pegged by the other thieves. So well done to anyone who gets that one. So this character is called Piffle. This one's trying to provide for their family and support them. This one's a defensive character and has an amazing sense of humour. So this one is the problem solver of the thieves. No matter how stupid the situation is, they're going to try and resolve it. Squiggle, this one's a local thief who's trying to be the best thief there is, the most wanted, and by doing so they plan to steal the diamond. But this one's the dumbest one, I'm not going to lie to you, this one's the thickest one. And he takes an instant dislike to Nibble and his ego, and I've already touched on the funniest. This one, Dungus, he's been waiting patiently for his moment, so he's the last one to be uncovered, he's the last one to come in. But this one tries to be positive and make the best out of situations, and pushes himself, herself, to be an unlikely team of thieves that's been created. So this one, the one that has possession of the diamond, Old MacArthur, female, male, I don't care. This one has no idea what's going on inside of his or her home. This one can be played for comedic reasons, but this one is actually blind and deaf, and you won't speak in the piece, but actions, I need big actions, you know. But this one's having fun with them, and plot twist as well. This one has a better plan up their sleeve than all the four thieves put together. So my expectations from you guys, I need you to focus on what you're doing. Like, yeah, you can have fun and everything, but I need you to focus at the end of the day, because I need to get my grade and you need to get yours. Deadlines, I'm going to set your homework, but like not to make you all suffer, you know. I'm trying to help you out with your logbook so you don't have to do that. Open-minded, I need you to come into the space and be confident with what you're doing and be comfortable to come out of your zone and try different things, you know what I mean? Willing to work with others. I'm going to be brutally honest, I don't care about the issues you have, I really don't. Because at the end of the day, what fighting going to do? I need you to get on with your work, do you know what I mean? Like, you can have fun, but just if you fight. Honesty, I need you to be honest. If you don't like something, tell me, and then we can work together to change it, and that fits in with communication, so just be honest with me. You'll get a nice response, I promise. Expectations from me, professional. I won't, I don't actually have any problems with you, do you know what I mean? But I will be professional if I do, and I'm going to keep it about the work. Communication, I'm going to communicate really well with you. I'm going to listen to ideas you have, because like I said, you are creating the piece that I visualise in my head. Working as a group, I'm going to work with you as a group. Honesty, again, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, if you don't like something, I'm going to change it. I'm going to be honest with you if it's not working. But I'm going to make sure you're ready for the final performance, so you feel like you are 100% ready, you know everything, and you're comfortable with what you're doing. Questions?
How long is the performance?
20 minutes. Was that?
And then what are you looking for second set?
It's just a living room set, so sofa, table, floor lights.
Okay.
Questions? No? Alright now.
Let's just check for it, right? So it's 5 people of any gender?
Yeah. I'm going to make it work.
Because
you sat there, you were like, someone picked another male. I was like, not the way
She was like,
She got mad.
Can you sit and flick through for me because there's loads of animation in it and I don't want to be overlooking that. Thank you. 2 seconds. Thanks. You want a new page? Are you proud? You want a new page? Look, that's everyone else. Look in. That's me. That's everyone else. That's going to be you, okay? Thanks. That's so funny. So, everybody. Hi. This is my pitch. I'm doing No One Sees Video by Martin Krim.
Just hold up, I need to write something.
Ben said he'd do it for me.
Hang on.
Who is Martin Krim? Martin Krim is an English playwright who was born in Kent in 1956. He has written many plays such as this one, and his main genre and the genre of this play is dark comedy. Play synopsis. No One Sees the Video was set in the late 80s and early 90s. It was written after Crimp's experiences in marketing in London in the early 80s. This play takes place in southwest London and northeast England. It is a dark comedy, as I've already said, and it highlights the changes in politics and social life. The play also highlights the hidden desires and urges of human life and how society is a bit random and sometimes the pieces don't fit together as people sometimes want them to. The play entails dark, twisty tales and highlights the dark side of market research as the play develops, and the prevalent male inclusivity in the script further highlights that. The script also highlights the human desire to want or need something straight away. Now we move on to the character synopsis. Karen. Karen is a 23-year-old saleswoman who lives in southwest London. She tries her hardest to get people to fill in her surveys on shopping. She comes across as very edgy and pushy, but nice at the same time. Liz. Liz is a 35-year-old single mom who lives in southwest London. She is approached by Karen in the opening scene as Karen really wants her to complete one of her surveys. She agrees to begin with, but as the questions get more personal, she's more like, why am I here? Colin. Colin is a 32-year-old man who lives in southwest London. He works with Karen and is direct when he speaks. He comes across as a to-the-point person when he speaks, and he seems serious. John. John is a 44-year-old man living in southwest London. He comes across as a shy person. He can also give directions confidently. Jo. Jo is a 15-year-old girl who lives in southwest London. She's researching different types of work in Holland as part of the history project that she is working on as part of her education. Sally. Sally is a 17-year-old girl who is being interviewed about her time in Paris. Like Colin, she is very direct when she speaks to people and can recall information confidently. Nigel. Nigel is a 44-year-old man who is living in northeast England. He's very aggressive when it comes to questions, and he is also trying to control Liz into something. Paul. Paul is a 23-year-old man living in northeast England. He's a very kind-hearted man as he tries to get Liz out of a very awkward situation in the bar when she is with Nigel. Paul only have a few lines in the script as I have edited it to be this way. My cast will need to consist of 3 girls and 3 boys. However, multi-rolling will take place during the piece. Be prepared to be more than one character. So, why should you choose me as your director? I'm approachable when you need help. I can confidently lead warm-ups. I've loads of things in mind to make this a great piece. And if you're struggling with your lines or your logbooks, I can help you do them confidently and to a good standard. So, my actor's expectations: 100% attendance, 100% punctuality, and 100% focus. If you can't make it to a session, you inform me by text or on Facebook. Complete all homework set to the best of your ability in as much detail as possible. And all homework in on the day I tell you to. There are spare copies on my Padlet that I've made for you if you lose it, so there are no excuses if I don't get it in on time. Then on your lines at least 2 weeks before showcase, so I have time to polish and refine. Attend all lunch rehearsals I discuss with you unless you tell me otherwise, 12:30 till 1:10. Ask me for help if you are struggling with anything whatsoever, lines, logbooks, homework, etc. This is your grade. Please work with me because I will work with you. I have the logbook I did last year on my Padlet. Use that as a template if you're struggling. I got a merit and I want you to see how it works. And as Kat said earlier, we need to sell to run. Please sell, thanks.
Not just to your parents.
Any questions? Shelley.
What's the layout?
We're going for Tech and Set.
Tech I haven't decided on yet.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll go to what about
Set minimal, just a table and 2 chairs. Shelley.
Say, what's it about?
It's basically about
Come on, now, you can do this.
Sally, come on. Got this,
You've got the presentation in your hand.
It's basically about Crimp's experiences in marketing. His experience. It's about his experiences in marketing. So it's basically different characters performing his experiences.
You've got this.
Okay. Okay. Hi, I'm Kirsty as Kira Fino. Okay. Yeah. Our play is. There's hints.
Oh God.
It's a comedy. It's by
Don Zolis.
and it's undead.
Something about zombies.
It's called 10 Ways to Survive a Zombie Apocalypse.
Oh my God.
About Don Zolis. He's a novelist and one of the most produced playwrights in America. He was a BA in English from Carleton College and an MFA in playwriting and actors studio program at the New School, University, Wayside, under Lost Finland. He has 102 published plays, have received more than 12,000 productions and have appeared in every state and 64 countries. He also received 2 editions, New Play Awards and multiple Neo Grants among other honours. It was produced in 2013. It was about zombies, obviously. About killing zombies with 10 steps, hoping that the characters will survive. They must survive at all costs. It's a comedy with a bit of gore.
Okay. 10 Ways to Survive a Zombie Apocalypse is a dark comedy with not like a little bit, but like a lot of gore. It's about zombies invading Earth and affecting many people. There's only a few survivors, which are Jimmy, Susan, Sam and Christy. Time to kill to survive before they run out of supplies. Narrated telling a story throughout as they've done it before in the past. Our interpretation.
We want to make it our own as performance, for the play is unique.
We want to add
Goriness.
comedy,
Experimenting depends on the actor.
characters. We want 8 to 9 people. We've got Jimmy, which is 17-year-old, who's bossy, headstrong, stubborn and really aggressive towards the other characters.
Susan, who's 16, a bit dramatic, a bit nerdy.
We've got Sam, who's 17 years old, a bit dawn, a ladies' man and curious, but it can be played by a girl, Sam can. It's not just a male role.
And we have Christy, 16 years old, bit of a scared cat, clumsy, a bit emotional.
In narrator 1 and 2, we'll play plot dressed as explorers.
And we'll have zombies.
Also,
Oh, sorry.
also a disclaimer, some classes will have blood on them. If you're allergic to blood, we won't have put blood on you. But zombies will have latex on them. If you have a nut allergy, this isn't the play for you because there's got nuts included in this. And if you scream, it's not very good for you. What we want from you, we want you to listen to what we say, turn up for rehearsals unless you have a valid reason not to,
Read a script and learn lines.
ask questions if you don't understand anything,
No arguments.
come rehearsal with a clean mind, leave any problems outside the room, and have fun doing the show. What you can expect from us,
Listen to anything we have to say.
answer any questions you have about the play,
If there are any problems, talk to one of us and we will do our best to do anything about it.
turn up for rehearsals,
Give us a great performance, if you can.
make sure you're comfortable doing the scene, so if you're not comfortable we'll change the scene, and help with logbooks. I've got a Padlet for you guys, which each lesson I'll put I'll put your name and then tell you how you did in the lesson.
We will occasionally focus, play games, focus games, activities, go prepared for rehearsals.
Any questions about the play?
How long is it going to be?
Half an hour.
No.
Half an hour. Ooh. And then second set, what do you want?
We want red lit light
Okay.
and normal light, and then we want chairs and tables like turned over so it's like a war scene sort of thing.
Okay, so just kind of messy.
Yeah, really messy.
Can you confirm your gender split, please? How many males?
Yeah, of course. There's going to be 2 males that are definite, and then 2 females, and then the rest of them are just gender, which
We'll
They
go
did
back.
that.
Yeah.
No, just really gender.
It could have been like 8/9 boys.
Natalie, what?
Jay!
Thank you.
Jude!
Yes!
You have all that jazz!
Oh my god, Ben!
Yes! Tell you what, later on.
And your
I thought you meant you deleted it as well.
No.
I don't know, I was a big fan.
Yeah, okay.
It's throughout the scene, it's like but they bring it out. Come on, Jane, Lily, you got this!
Yes, do it.
Yes, you got this.
Would you like me to do?
Huh?
Would you like me to do?
Do you know what? Don't worry about it, I'll do it. You seem incapable. Oh yeah, to be fair,
It's not wrong. Oh, Forrest. Okay, let's go. Right, up, yeah.
Shakers! By John Godber. Yes. Yes. Directed by me and Lily.
Yes,
Lily.
me and Jade.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Shakers is kind of the sequel to Bouncers, and Bouncers is a performance that we did last year. Ben was our director. Nice.
The best.
And it's a comedy piece. And when we did Bouncers, we got a really good reaction. So we thought we could always do a similar thing because that was a spin-off. We thought, well, if Bouncers got a good reaction, then surely this one would as well. So Shakers is kind of like the female version of Bouncers, and it's waitresses rather than, you guessed it, bouncers.
Wow.
Oh my god. And it shows the 4 girls that are in this performances, the 4 waitresses, they kind of mock the people that they serve and people they come across and stuff like that. It's set in a cocktail bar in the 1920s. It's pretty high class for that period anyway. It's a Brechtian piece, so it's like multi-rolling and stuff like that. As they're mocking others, they have to kind of perform as them. And mainly it's about the issues of the 80s in terms of the issues that the girls have. So things like fashion regulations, their like female attitude and like employment and stuff like that.
So why did we choose Shakers? Because obviously we did bouncers last year and we both got distinction, so we feel like we understand the kind of comedic timings. We understand like the pace and everything. Obviously having Ben and Matt as directors, they've sort of taught us a thing or two about like the pace that you can speak in so that you get like the right reaction from the audience. Because it's a comedy. Did we say it's a comedy?
We did say it was a comedy.
Okay. So, yeah. And yeah, because it has a mixed tone as well. Not only are they mimicking like the customers that they serve, they also have their own personal struggles. So it's sort of like it's like delves into like serious topics, like as well as the humour side. So it can like show what you can do as actors as well.